Hey everybody, this is Chapter 2, Section 5. Title is Literal Equations and Formulas. It starts on page 109. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't like algebra is because now math problems have letters in them. They have variables. In all the problems that we've done so far this chapter, there's been one variable. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to isolate that variable, get that one letter by itself. In this section, we're going to use the same chapters that we've used, but they're going to try to confuse us by throwing even more letters into the problems. Like I said, everything we've done so far has had one letter in them, or one variable. In this section, we're going to use literal equations. A literal equation is an equation that has two or more variables in it. So far, we've tried to find the one variable, and we've tried to isolate it. We're doing the same thing in this section. Only one variable is the one we're going to focus on, and that's what we're going to try to isolate. So a problem would look like this. Solve the equation 4 equals 2a minus 5b, and we're solving that equation for a. There's two variables. There's the a and the b. The one we care about is the a. That's the one that we're trying to isolate. Then we're going to find the values as we go on. We'll just solve the equation first. So here's my equation. We're trying to get a by itself. Okay? The a is being multiplied by 2, and it's being subtracted by 5b. Which part do we get rid of first? Well, we're going to get rid of the 5b because it's farther away. So the inverse of subtracting 5b is adding 5b. Okay? We're going to do that to both sides. And then we're going to simplify. Subtracting 5b and adding 5b are inverses, so they cancel. On the left side, we have 4 plus 5b. And on the right side, we have 2a. My variable is still a. What's being done to it? It's being multiplied by 2. The inverse of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. We're going to do that to both sides. And then we're going to simplify. Multiplying by 2 and dividing by 2 are inverses, so they cancel. On the right side, we have a. And on the left side, we can just leave it like this. 4 plus 5b divided by 2. So when I solve the equation for a, that means get a by itself and everything else to the other side. That's what we've done. Now, the other part of the problem says find the values of a if b equals -2, 0, and 2. So we're going to take the equation that we just found and plug in 3 values, one at a time. We're going to plug in -2 and get an answer. We're going to plug in 0 and get an answer. We're going to plug in 2 and get an answer. Okay? If we plug in -2, 4 plus 5 times -2 divided by 2. Order of operations, I have to do 5 times -2 first, and that gives me -10. -10 plus 4 is -6. -6 divided by 2 is -3. I'd write all those steps out. I don't have enough room, though. Okay, so that's one of our answers. Next, we have to plug in 0 where the b was. 4 plus 5 times 0 divided by 2. 5 times 0 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So there's another answer. And I still have to plug in a positive 2. I did the -2, I did the 0, and I have to plug in the positive 2. 4 plus 5 times 2 divided by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 plus 10 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So there's my third answer. So this problem has 4 parts to it. I had to get a by itself, figure out the equation, and then I had to plug in 3 different numbers and get 3 different answers. Sometimes a problem doesn't have any numbers in it at all. That would be like this one. What equation do you get when you solve the equation -t equals r plus px for x? So, x is the variable that we care about. We're trying to get rid of everything else. Okay, so x is my variable. It's being multiplied by p, and r is being added to it. So we need to get rid of those two things. Which one do I deal with first? The r, because it's farther away. This is a positive r, so I need to subtract r from both sides of the equal sign. Some of you have been trying to put a subtract r over here. No, you put one of them on each side of the equal sign. Okay? A positive r and a negative r are inverses, so they cancel. On the left side, I have negative r minus t. On the right side, I have p times x. Okay? Still trying to get x by itself. It's being multiplied by p. So the inverse of multiplying by p is dividing by p. Do that to both sides. Multiplying by p and dividing by p are inverses, so they cancel. I have x on the right, and on the left I have negative r minus t divided by p. The steps are exactly the same, whether you're using inverses to get rid of a letter or a number or whatever. Okay? It's exactly the same process. There is my equation. I got x by itself, and that's what I have left. Another type of problem is one where you have to use a formula. Okay? It says, what is the height of a triangle that has an area of 24 inches squared and a base of 8 inches? So, we're talking about a triangle, and it's talking about area, so we need to know the formula for area of a triangle. It's given to you. Area equals 1/2 the base times the height. Let's plug in what we know. In this problem, we know that the area is 24. So in place of A, we're going to put a 24. We've got 1/2. Do we know base? It says, and a base of 8 inches. So we know that the base is 8. And then do we know h? Well, h stands for height. What does the question ask me? It says, what is the height? So that's what I'm trying to find. That's my variable. Okay? Now, in order to solve for h, in order to get h by itself, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 1/2 and the 8. Okay? So half of 8 would be 4. I haven't done anything with the h or the 24 yet. H is my variable. It's being multiplied by 4, so I need to divide by 4. And multiplying by 4 and dividing by 4 are inverses, so they cancel. 24 divided by 4 is 6. What was my problem talking about? What kind of units? This is a word problem. It's talking about inches. Heights are always in inch. Heights are in inches. Bases are in inches. Area is always something squared. Okay? The number isn't squared, but the unit is. So area is always something squared. So my answer here, the height of that triangle would be 6 inches. Okay? In your book, there's a problem number 4. We're not going to be doing anything like that, so we're not going to worry about it. Practice problems for this section. I forgot to put a page number in there, but the problems are 1, 2, 11, 17, 25, 27, 29, and 31. Go ahead and get a head start on those, and you can finish them up in class if you have any questions.